Welcome to Small Business Stories. I am Mike Downhour with the Monroe Chamber of Commerce. With me here is Quentin Durr from Origin Bank and Louisiana Catalyst.
Hello.
And also special guest Rickey Robertson with Macaroni Kid.
Glad to be here, Mike.
Well, tell us, why are you here? You are here to talk about your small business and success. Tell us about Macaroni Kid.
Well, Macaroni Kid is a network of publishers across the U.S. and Canada, over 800 publishers, where what we do is we focus on hyperlocal things going on in our communities. Those 800 publishers, again, coast to coast, east to west, north to south, and we focus on family fun where we live. There's a lot of websites and calendars and stuff out there, but we focus on being your go-to resource for those things, where it's not just look at the website and find where to go this weekend, but we also include things that maybe have to do with hydration during the summer months, where you got the 4th of July that came around just recently, or summer camp guide and how to deal with anxiety. So we focus on being that place to go for your family to see what's going on.
Well, the first thing your explanation just did for me is realize you're not just a local, nothing wrong with that, but just a local one-man operation with Macaroni Kid. You guys are part of a very large network.
Yes, Mike. You and I were talking a little bit earlier, but Macaroni Kid started out just as one lady who was looking for stuff to do for her kids. And the concept initially was macaroni is pretty cheap, and you can feed your kids on just a box or so, and it won't cost you a lot. And so that's what she did, was she found events that were inexpensive or free for her kids to do in their community, and it grew over time. Well, it was recently purchased by a company called Certificate that offers discounts to families. And then Macaroni Kid recently evolved again as they bought out Hula Frog to expand that network even greater. So we're in the U.S., Canada, and right here in Monroe-West Monroe.
All from a humble beginning of a bowl of macaroni and cheese.
Right. Good place to start.
Absolutely.
You're already making me hungry here. So tell us about Macaroni Kid locally. Who is Macaroni Kid?
So my wife, Missy, and I operate here out of our house. She does most of the work for us, I'll be honest. But, for several years, she's wanted to start our own business. She wanted to find a way to do something for ourselves. And last year, in 2021, the former publisher came across a new opportunity, and she was trying to find somebody who might be able to take over. And so I sent an email to Macaroni Kid HQ, the headquarters, and said, we're interested. And then there was an interview process and some paperwork that needed to be signed. And then January of 2022, we took over and kind of hit the ground running. There was a little miscommunication during the Christmas break where we were supposed to have taken over in December of 21, but they forgot to hit the send button.
Whoops.
And so we took over in January and again hit the ground running. Our first article that we did that was kind of a hyper-local story, which is what we focus on, was about the Esther J. Gallo Community Garden over in Booker T. And man, it was a lot of fun going back to my days of being in radio and working with some of the people in Booker T with our toy drive at the radio station and some events that we did. And so it was a lot of fun and just recalling things about Esther and her years in our community. And so that ended up being a great big story for us. And it just kind of pushed us on where we did more of those human interest stories during Mardi Gras, during the 4th of July, during the summer, focusing on grand marshals and teachers, and just looking at great things that we have here in our community.
Somebody watching all this right now that wants to find out more about Macaroni Kid, how do they do that?
The easiest way to do it is just hit Macaroni Kid Monroe-West Monroe in your Google search bar, and it should pop up right there at the top.
Facebook or website?
Website, and then also we're on social media. We have an e-newsletter that goes out every Thursday morning. Missy does a great job pushing that out at 6 o'clock every Thursday. It goes out to over 7,000 people here in Monroe-West Monroe and the surrounding areas. 6 articles usually in that. Again, crafts, recipes, things to do with your families. We also talk about local farms, local local.
Right.
It's a lot of what we push out there to our community.
What was so? I know that's a lot to do because that's a lot of, especially hyper. What, and that's got to be passion driven. Where did y'all passion come from doing this? Like it seemed like you picked up and chose it, so it didn't, it didn't come find you. So where's that? I guess your background, or what made y'all want to pursue this?
So personally, I did radio for years. I worked in radio advertising, and when I got out of radio to get into teaching 12 and a half years ago exactly, I still kind of stayed in the advertising, if you will, by lining up sponsorships at the schools where I've worked and things like that. But Missy wanted to do something to kind of help our family, but also to highlight what we have as a family. Our kids are all grown now, but we have 5 beautiful grandchildren, 4 of them living here in Monroe-West Monroe. And so we have one of our grandsons who we spend a lot of time with, and we wanted to find a way to be able to find those things for him to do that might involve other kids in our community, help him build friendships and things like that.
Where would we find the macaroni noodle print around town? If we're looking around town, where have you guys, where's your fingerprints at? What have you been a part of
Well, we've
as Macaroni Kid?
joined the Monroe Chamber.
We're quite pleased with that, by the way, and we're looking forward to running some advertising with you as well.
We've been on both sides of the river with what we do. That's who we are, Macaroni Kid Monroe-West Monroe. So we set up at family events. We've been at St. Patrick's Day event in West Monroe. We've set up in Monroe, doing a summer camp expo out at the zoo. And we just set up at things that families might attend in order to get the word out about who we are.
What about your future? I know you've taken it from a publication that was doing well. You've made it better. What are your plans? Where this small business story, how big is it going to get?
So at the ambassadors meeting that we had for the chamber a few weeks ago, one of the things that I mentioned was that I'm originally from Baton Rouge, and I went to school here at ULM, and I've stayed here because I see Monroe as home now. Obviously, my mom is still in Baton Rouge, so I've still got ties to that community, but I've made Monroe my home. So what we want to do is continue to see Monroe grow and in turn see our site, our footprint grow as well. And so we want to continue to let the community know who we are and what we do and spread the word and get more people involved in our community, not just, picking up trash or cutting grass or whatever. We want to see people do more within our community to make our Monroe, West Monroe, a better place to live.
Absolutely so, and Macaroni Kid is doing their part. As far as in the future and where you want to go, as an ambassador, a new ambassador, I might add, how can that fit in to what you're doing with Macaroni Kid?
On our website, we have places for people to advertise, and I don't want to just push that on people, come advertise with us.
Well, you've got resources too, though.
We do. With our website, we publish guides frequently throughout the year to where families can go find what's going on and how they can get involved with those. So in the future, what we want to do is get our businesses in town to where they can tie in with people and expand their footprint. Here in the chamber, that's our mission, is to create an environment where businesses thrive.
Yes, sir.
And so if we can all work together to expand that concept, whereas small businesses, we work together, we can be more powerful as a group of small businesses rather than trying to be our own selves in this community. Because it's a small community, but as a group of small businesses, I think we can help each other.
Yeah, I think collaboration is always a key. If I'm a business person, how do I get in touch with you? How does that look? So for those that are listening or watching, if I want to advertise, or if I think I have something I want to be featured in there, how do they get in touch with you? What's some of the ways that they can do that?
So they can reach out by email or by phone. Our phone number at Macaroni Kid is 318-372-2582. Or they can reach out by email, which our email is mackidmonroela@macaronikid.com. They can reach us 24/7.
Or reach out, website, Facebook too.
Yes, socials, I assume they could match you there. Okay.
What are you most proud of being a part of Macaroni Kid? Over your last few years of being affiliated, what brings you the most joy?
I think the thing that brings Missy and I the most joy is when we go out to these events and we're trying to plug away and get people to subscribe to our newsletter, check us out online, join our Facebook, whatever. And people actually run up to us and say, man, I'm so glad that you guys are here today because I wanted to tell you the reason that I'm here is because I saw it on your calendar. And so it's kind of rejuvenating and exciting to go to these events where we're trying to get people to come out to whatever the event might be, a family-friendly day at the zoo or summer camp expo, and people come up and say, man, we saw this online and we had to come to it because you told us to.
Right. Is there any event or story that sticks out in your mind that kind of made an impression on you?
Missy just told me a story the other day, where she was somewhere and that happened. But they're all exciting. I've seen kids who have come up, where I ran a summer camp for 4 years. But to have them reach out and say, I know you'll have a Macaroni Kid summer camp guide. Can you help me find somewhere for my kids to go this year? And so for them to feel that we are the resource to help find a summer camp or summer activity for their child is probably the most rewarding thing that I've had this year.
And what is one thing that that you most want to let people know about Macaroni Kid that we may not have discussed already?
We love our community. That's the big thing. We love where we live, and we live where we love. And Missy gave me a script that I'm supposed to read off, but I don't want to pick
Go
it
ahead.
up.
You can do it.
I don't want to pick it up.
You
and
can
read
do it.
here
Please
on
do.
on the screen. But we are your go-to resource for family fun. We specialize in connecting you with the best local and regional events, providing parenting tips to make life a little easier, sharing simple recipes that will get the kids excited. And we offer craft ideas for creative moments. We're more than just a website or e-newsletter. We're your guide to creating memorable experiences for your family.
Well said. He is Rickey Robertson with Macaroni Kid. This is Quentin Durr with Origin Bank. I am Mike Downhour, and this has been Small Business Stories. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you.
Yep. Thank y'all.